Now I'm going to start by painting the rock faces next. What I want is, I'm going to go ahead and use the medium color, the pumpkin pie color from the earth tone colors, but that's almost a little too earthy. And the medium gray from the castle gray colors is just too blue gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the two. I'm just going to use half and half, and I'm going to use that for my rock faces. So I'm going to take the pumpkin pie color, I'm going to pour. You don't need a whole lot. I'm just going to go about, oh, that much. That'll probably be plenty. There. And then as far as the medium castle gray, I'm going to put about, that much again into it. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me a nice in-between color. Any videos you see on dry brushing by me are pretty much all the same. I say the same thing every time. Here I've got the paint, and this is pretty much straight house paint. It's not diluted down at all. I've got a 1-inch wide soft brush. What I'm going to do is dip it about halfway into the paint, and I'm going to paint it onto a paper towel. This is just a regular paper towel folded in half. And I'm going to paint it and paint it and paint it until there is almost nothing left in the brush. Not a lot of paint on the brush. Not much left at all. I'm going to dip it one more time, and I'm going to paint it and get it out on the brush. Now, it always have more paint on your brush than what you think there is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and you see how many times I've done this? You see how long I've continued to wipe this out on the paper towel? You need to do it for quite a while. Now the rock face right here, what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get this in the video. I'm just going to very lightly go over it. Now if you go across it and you see streaks, you got too much paint on your brush. You do not want to see streaks when you go across it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently go back and forth across it. And you should take about 3 or 4 or 5 swipes and not see anything. If you go swipe it 3 or 4 times and you don't see anything, then it's just about perfect. You'll continue to go back and forth, kind of like this, and I see I'm picking up some details. But what I want to do is I want to pick up more details, so I've got to jam the brush in a little bit to pick up the details inside. Now I can't jam the brush if I got too much paint, because if I jam the brush with too much paint, it's going to be solid gray and I won't get any detail. So right now, by barely going over it several times, 10 or 12 times, now I'm starting to see that I've got some detail here. So now I think I'm safe enough to go ahead and start jamming the brush in. So it's like jam push, jam push, jam push, jam push, continually. And it's starting to pick up a lot of the details on the surface. Now I'd like this to go in just a little bit deeper. I'd like to get the gray. The gray is only hitting the edges no matter how hard I push. The gray is only hitting the edges and not going further down in. That means I might need just a little more paint on the brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip this back down in, and I'm going to go back and forth over the paper towel. And chances are by this time, I've loaded up this paper towel a bit. I might have to throw another paper towel on top of here. But I'm just going to work over the edges that are kind of have a bit of paint on. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to go lightly back and forth over the surface. I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to start pushing this in and pushing this in. My light is kind of in the wrong spot there. Okay, this is looking more like what I want. Because I've got the paint just about right, one dry brush coat may be good enough. I may not have to go back with a second coat that's lighter. Because if you do it right, you'll get a lot of different shades. You get a multiple of shades. It won't just be gray and brown. It'll be sort of in between. So getting the right amount of paint on the brush and applying the brush enough times to do the job is key. It's critical. Now right here, I think I've just about got what I want on here. I think if I can get the light in there right, that is just about right for what I want. Now we're going to hit all the rock faces, so not just around the outside. Don't forget that there may be places on the inside that also have a rock texture that you're going to have to dry brush. Now, if you accidentally go up on the sandbags, it's not a problem because the sandbags are going to be dry brushed a different color later. Now, you'll notice that I've only done the rock sections and I haven't bothered with the other. The other sections are going to be covered with dirt and covered with grass. So unless you've carved out rock, there's no need, there's no need to dry brush it. Now I'm done doing the rock texture, and take a look at how much paint I got left. A lot.